is you that I need, Daddy. It is you that I need. It is you that I need. Come and have your way in me. It is you that I need. It is you that I need. It is you that I need. Come and have your way in me. It is you that I need. It is you that I need. Come and have your way. It is you that I need. Come and have your way in me. What can I do, Lord, without you? What would become of me without you, Lord? Life will come, life will go, but you remain with me forever. It is you that I need. Come and have your way in me. It is you that I need. 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 Come and have your way in me. It is you that I need. It is you that I need. It is you that I need. Come and have your way in me. People may not understand me, but you know everything, Lord, about me. They may not know where I am coming from, oh Baba, but you know everything, Lord, about me. Oh, friends will come and friends will go, but you remain with me forever. It is you that I need. Come and have your way in me. It is you that I need. 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 Come and have your way in me. It is you that I need. It is you that I need. No one else but you. It is you that I need. You are the way, the truth. It is you that I need. Come and have your way in me. If you leave me on my own, what will become of me? Oh Lord, if you leave me in this world, Lord, what will I do? Oh Lord, you are the word of life. You are the way, the truth, and the life. Jesus, it is you that I need. Come and have your way in me. It is you that I need. It is you that I need. It is you that I need. Come and have your way in me. It is you that I need. It is you that I need. It is you that I need. Come and have your way in me. I need you in my ministry, Daddy. I need you in my business, Jehovah. I need you in my career. I can't do without you. It is you that I need. Come and have your way in me. It is you that I need. 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 Come and have your way in me. It is you that I need. It is you that I need. It is you that I need. Come and have your way in me. The world that we are living in it is falling apart. You are the only hope. I cannot put my trust in the things of the world. I put my trust in you alone. I put my hope in you alone. Papa, it is you that I need. Come and have your way in me. It is you that I need. It is you that I need. It is you that I need. Come and have your way in me. It is you that I need. It is you that I need. It is you that I need. Come and have your way in me. Oh Lord, it is you that I need. Oh Lord, it is you that I need. bless me, Lord, no one can curse me. If you open the door for me, no one, Lord, will close. Just speak a word in my life, everything will change. Papa, just speak a word in my life, conditions will change. It is you that I need, Lord, come and have your way with me. Oh Lord,
it is you that I need. It is you that I need.
it is you that I
It
need.
is you that I need. Come and have your way with me.
It is you that I need.
It is you that I need. It is you that I need. It is you that I need. Come and have your way with me.
Onye bụ nwanne m,
Mayo mama, Mayo,
onye bụ nwanne m,
Mayo mama, Mayo,
Jizọs bụ nwanne m,
Mayo mama, Mayo,
mmadụ n'iru,
Mayo mama, Mayo,
mmadụ n'azụ.
Mayo yo yo, Mayo yo yo, Mayo Mayo yo, Mayo mama, Mayo.
He is awesome, the God of perfection, and He is holy, but oh how He loves me. This my God,
I wanna praise His name.
He is wonderful, He is beautiful, He is so lovely, He loves me so tenderly. This my God, onye bụ nwanne m,
Mayo mama, Mayo,
onye bụ nwanne m,
Mayo mama, Mayo,
Jizọs bụ nwanne m,
Mayo mama, Mayo,
mmadụ n'iru,
Mayo mama, Mayo,
mmadụ n'azụ.
Mayo yo yo, Mayo yo yo, Mayo Mayo yo, Mayo mama, Mayo.
When the enemy comes in like a flood, hey, my God, He raises a banner over me, and His love, He protects me, and He guides me, He covers me, and He hides me under the shadow of His wings. Onye bụ nwanne m,
Mayo mama, Mayo,
onye bụ nwanne m,
Mayo mama, Mayo,
Jizọs bụ nwanne m,
Mayo mama, Mayo,
mmadụ n'iru,
Mayo mama, Mayo.
land. Japan is ruled by Japanese. England is governed by Englishmen. America is governed by Americans. So, Africa must be ruled by Africans. I wanna know who owns the land. We must rule from Cape to Cairo. We must rule our purpose land. I say, we wanna know who owns the land. I wanna know who owns the land. Aslan, hey, Papa Aslan, Papa Aslan, Papa Aslan. It must be free. Angola wants to know who owns the land. Mozambique wants to know who owns the land. Namibia wants to know who owns the land. I say, Soweto wants to know who owns the land. Zimbabwe wants to know who owns the land. African freedom fighters want to know who owns the land. Papa Slam. Now listen to the history. We've been here.
Pleasure to come to you. Thank you. Thank you.
Creation. We've been here since creation. What else do you want to know? Since the time of sun and sun. Since the time of moon and stars. Since the time of air and sea. Since the time of men and things. We must rule from Cape to Cairo. And then we must rule our purpose land. Purpose land. Oh! Okay now. Now I want to talk to my people.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Welcome to ABS Africa Broadcasting Service, coming to you as usual from the great state of Fort Texas, precisely here in Houston. It's always a privilege to come to you with updates, ladies and gentlemen, on the struggle for independence restoration in the Federal Republic of Amazonia. Welcome to Studio D here at ABS. Once more, thank you for tuning in. I'd like to welcome all of you who are joining the broadcast, ladies and gentlemen, from all over Europe, including Ukraine, Poland, Russia, and of course, all of you joining from West Central Europe. Thank you for tuning in as usual. If you are joining from Canada, the United States, of course, thank you too for tuning in. And all of you tuning in from South America, thank you. Also, this promises to be a great broadcast, a great presentation today. And so, as usual, I would love you to go ahead, hit your share button, ladies and gentlemen. Let us quickly populate this platform. Go ahead, hit your share button. Let us go ahead and quickly populate this platform. A lot is happening. Lots of killings by La République du Cameroon, terrorist soldiers in our homeland. So please, ladies and gentlemen, again, go ahead and hit your share button. I will also be joined with a powerful panel today. So go ahead and hit that share button quickly so that I can come to you with this presentation as soon as I see 1K out there. Please do that very quickly. But let me see those of you who are joining. Let me pass some special greetings to the fans, those of you who gathered here already to participate in this show. Again, well, I like the way the numbers are jumping. I like the way the numbers are jumping. If you are just joining, please, you go ahead and you hit your share button. Let us quickly populate the platform. And again, let me see those of you who are tuning in. Let me see those of you tuning in. All right. Let me see. Where is it here? Okay. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, hit your share button. As I see Prince Rene. He said, Tata Ignatius, let me ask you this. Okay, responding to somebody. AJ, Succeed. Taya Innocent Weyi. Nico Madiba, thank you. Emmanuel Ndango, thank you for joining. Joe Fong, see you, sir. Constance Mono, MB Weezer, thank you, sir. Nino Brown, wonderful. Ingwai Kenneth, all of you joining. I want to see the screen, the numbers on the screen. Quickly jumping, ladies and gentlemen. Ingwo Irene Su from Bin. This is not the Irene that I guess I know. Unicron, let me see. Unicron Achoa. I am informed that the rampant killings in BAMENDA are as a result of there is a big animal from the zoo. That is why they go about killing our people like that. I don't know what you mean there. Wimka IV, but, he says, but, Secretary Chris, I know, you brought the deal. Why complaining now? Because he refused to give you. Are you part, I think he wants to write, he refused to give you your part of the money. God will pay you both. Those little black legs and hypocrites out there. All right, not a big deal. Ladies and gentlemen, hit your share button. I need to see the numbers jumping. Mercy and Joe, we love you. Secretary Chris, she says, thank you, ma'am. Bekwike Magnus, say you are God's censor. Well, thank you. Tabe Franklin, our able secretary, welcome. Destiny, New Country, our one and only anchor man. Thank you, sir. By the way, what do you people say about the new set here? I want to know what you think about the new set that I'm coming to you with today. Let me know, please. All right, I see Mume Ndanga. The Bitcoin cabal has totally collapsed. No, they haven't collapsed yet because the head hasn't been cut yet. I see in Congo nowhere. Our erudite secretary, he says, thank you. Dashka. Hi, Secretary Chris. You look more handsome in your glasses, okay? Wonderful. Is that for real? That means I'll be coming on with you, coming on to you with them again and again. But thank you for that. I put this on only because I don't know whether it's old age or what is the issue. Sometimes I can't read without the glasses. Thank you for that. Triple Nelly. Greetings, Comrade Chris. We must take our country Ambazonia back. That is all that we do here, man. Thank you. We surely will. Sami Diko. I can see Sako Ikome watching through the window. No, he doesn't have to watch through the window. He has a large screen somewhere in his house. He never misses this show. He doesn't miss it. Okay. Othello General, Boya. Ladies and gentlemen, as you join, hit those numbers. Hit the numbers. I need to say the numbers literally, and I mean literally jumping. Tata Konja, hey, anchor man, he says, the man who sees tomorrow Keep it up. Wonderful. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Bridget Achotia. She's always here. We are here, always ready and happy to see you, our anchor man. Thank you. Thank you. Mercy Joe Wright. Are you married, Secretary Chris? You make me love the show. You make me love the show. I am very, very happily married, Mercy. I am not in the market. I've been out of the market a long, long time ago. My daughter is 24 years old and graduating this summer with a master's. All right? So I am not in the market. I'm sorry. All right? Anye, our greetings from Manconso. Thank you. Viviane Bidu. She says share. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, please share. I see the numbers are dropping. I want to see them jumping. We must hit at least 1K today. All right. Unicron Achua. There is a minister from Yaoundé in town. That is why they are killing our people. Which minister is that? Let's know, please. In Congo, Noah, greetings, our secretary. Malam Musa Alaji says, wishing all the way from Angola. Okay. Nelson Cho. Secretary Criggs, you are 1 in a million. Wonderful. Thank you, sir. Powerful Young, Secretary Chris, the pillar of Amazonian struggle. All right, that is your opinion. Pumba Pekin, you are a great guy, my dear. All right, John Paul Asaba, I want to join Bitcoin too. Well, just hit onto your internet there. Anye, our greetings from the mother village, Mancon, sir. Wonderful. I hope you guys are very safe out there. Ladies and gentlemen, we haven't hit 400 yet. And please, if you are joining, sometimes I do this thing just to make sure that we populate the platform. So go ahead and hit your screen, please. Go ahead and hit your share button. Caroline Mala, of course, Secretary Chris is happily married. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Baboni J. Hey, Messi. I guess Messi needs Baboni. You can communicate there. Amber Hills, the true one and only anchor man. Thank you, sir. Eric Guam. Messi, Secretary Chris is happily married. I hope Messi is hearing that. They were free, always here. I am Manio. Greetings from Greece, anchor man. Lange Judinge, watching from Kuflu. I don't know where Kuflu is. That must be somewhere in Bui, I guess. Oh, Silicon. Okay, I see you. Tata Konja. Tata Bokako. Here. Keep it up, anchor man. The man who sees tomorrow. All right. Thank you. Boris Nash. I see you. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are just joining, go ahead and hit your share button. There is so much to talk about today. Let me mention a few names more before I start this. In the sea. What does she say? I missed that. Okay. Boris Nash. More grace. Secretary Chris. Clovis Mchi. God bless you, sir. Okay. Ndashi. Upstation is ready. I don't know what you mean by that. Okay. Ngua Irene Su Fombin, our anchor man, is not in the market. He is taking and happily married. Okay, thank you, sir. Who else? Bridget Achotia, the big animal from the zoo, is our new interim president, the one and only one Iron Lady, Iya Marianta. that Sako, Irene, Gwa, and La Republic dread to see or hear her voice. Yes. All right. Ingwa Turumbe Ayok Enes, the real profile of what must be a communication secretary. As soon as I see the song, we want to know who owns the land. I rejoice, he says. Thank you. Thank you. Etando Randolph says, please, the way forward is by doing things like Sako and gang. Never existed. That's a good point there. But you know, when you have a snake hanging around you, you got to kill it first, right? All right. I see Ngochu Bango, something like that. Secretary Chris, I need a time with you to direct all the lies from Sako so Ambazonian people are not tempted to be fooled. Yes, sir. Do all you can do out there. Do the best you can do out there. Everybody doing his own thing, ladies and gentlemen, to counter every single lie. In fact, isn't it interesting today as you listen to the audios making the rounds out there that finally, Sako accepts that indeed, he took the CDC deal. I'm coming to that later in the show. Stay put and hit your, I don't see the number jumping to my liking place. Hit your numbers. All right, let me see. Solomon, support ABS. Thank you, sir. Dora, I see you. Dora Ann. Chi Bernard, I see you. Marianta is Aringwa's president, whether she likes it or not. 100% correct, sir. Mambo Pena, hello, Able Secretary. Thank you. I see Hyson Jr. I know one use the word thief man for year, but thank you for that. Martin Neighbor says share. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you will continue to hit that share button. Won't want to keep a lot of you waiting here because I hear Ground Zero. They say they have to buy data. They have to buy data every time I am here. But I want to again, please go ahead, hit your share button. Go ahead and hit your share button as there is so much to bring to you today. Today, I got a number of things to talk about. Number one, there is a lockdown that has been instituted for Oku. Number two, I bring you some updates on the cholera outbreak in Fako, Meme, and the rest of that community. Then we're going to be talking about the killings, the recent killings that have taken place in BAMENDA. Seven civilians killed in less than a week by French Cameroon terrorist soldiers. We're going to be talking about that. And then, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be talking about the confession that is making the rounds on the social media by the one and only impeached leader, impeached and removed President Samuel Ekome Sako. Finally, again, he accepts, ladies and gentlemen, that indeed, there was a CDC deal. So if there was a CDC deal, I am wondering, where did the money go to? He says that the dealer-in-chief, referring to yours truly, the dealer-in-chief, yes, brought him the deal. You will recall from day number one, he was like, I will sue somebody. There was no deal. Nothing ever came to me. I have no idea. I don't know what you are talking about. That was him then. Finally, we got him on audio, on tape, confessing, ladies and gentlemen, that there was indeed a deal. But let me take you to Oku, ladies and gentlemen. You all witnessed the women protest of last week in Oko. We have now learned, if you watched me last time, you would remember the protest march in Oko by a number of ladies was coerced by CPDM so-called elite in Oko. The likes of Shea Yengo or Francis or something like that, and young Philemon. They went out, put money into the hands, the pockets of those ladies, and got them out protesting Ambazonia restoration forces. And they took to the streets protesting Ambazonia. Now, Ambazonian restoration forces, the forces under Commander Bush Rambo, have now organized, and they, ladies and gentlemen, they are declaring a complete lockdown, an indefinite lockdown of Oko. They have declared a complete and indefinite lockdown of Oko in the days ahead. And let me say this. We know who Bush Rambo is, ladies and gentlemen. He is one of the most committed and faithful Ambazonian fighter out there in Oko. In fact, he created camps in Ndop before moving over to Oko to set up this other camp that has been doing a marvelous job up there. We believe in him. We stand by him, and when I say we, of course, I am referring to this interim government. We all stand with Bush Rambo in Oko. So they have now declared an indefinite lockdown in Oko to sanitize that town. I am now being joined by one of our own, whose name I don't want to mention here, who is giving us the details of what is happening in Oko. Hello, ma'am.
Good evening, Secretary Chris.
Good evening, ma'am. Thanks for joining me. Tell us what is happening in Oko, please.
Yeah, thank you, Secretary Chris, and good evening, Ambazonians. Oko don't decide say all the restoration forces them they be behind civilians, and all the restoration forces them for Oko they in one voice, and they don't decide say there will be an indefinite lockdown for the whole of Oko.
And when does it start?
The lockdown could start from Monday.
Okay.
Lockdown could start from Monday. We the soldier then we don't agree. Say all the restoration forces then for Oko in agreement with other civilians then. No be all civilians then, you know, say all black leg then they for some side like that Ibalwe na side way a young Philemon come out for day with Payongo come out for day. Some of them they no go agree with, but all the restoration forces they don't decide, they don't agree unanimously. Agree say lockdown could start on Monday, and the lockdown could be determined by how would they agree or between we and the civilian. Then if it be 1 month, if it be 2 months, if it be 3 months, we never yet know. And any person when he violate that lockdown, then he could get himself to blame.
Now tell me, the protests of last week, the protests of the women, what has been the response of the population, the Oko population, to that protest by those women? Are they aware that this was sponsored by Fire Yengo Francis, the Philemon Young, and the rest of the CPDM cronies in that town?
Yes, all man for Oko no say na that eba na side way they support. They don't be brainwashed by CPDM elites them. So an all man for Oko stand with our restoration forces them. all Oko people, then they support their picking them before even wait even happen. It be been because there be a small misunderstanding, and the civilians for that quarter where Bush Rambo be they be one just talk with Bush Rambo and the boys or other a fighter them. Before that one, they now they don't already give them small 1,000 or 500. They want profit to come, but the civilians and deny. Say no, now that same people then they don't burn their houses them, they don't kill their picking them, they don't kill their brothers them, so they don't get anything to do with them. So the civilians they be in agreement, and the small misunderstanding it be sorted out for background with the civilians them.
Okay, any of those women, it don't come for the fighters. I mean, you know how they do it. They will come secretly, try to expose the enemy, exactly what happened before they took to the streets.
No be the woman them. Some people they even among the one the way they be the waka the sing that song them. Then now them be tip week. Now them be tell with the information say Muna no mind the matching with the match for yet. Envelope them the pass for night. Say some of the people then said be the drink mimbo for bad and with La Republic military. The same people then way they don't kill una bomb our houses them. So now which that way it happen.
Now, one of the fighters in Oku was killed the other day. What do we know about it?
Yeah, the fighter name be Bina Moses. Me so rest in peace. So military man as well all that misunderstanding they come up, and then the fighter then they run to they go for bush, they be try for shoot them the military. So they be catch or they be kill one of our fighter. The name be Bina Moses. He come up from Buckville, some quarter for Oku. So right now the cops will never yet get the cops for the fighter. Me so rest in peace.
The fighter was killed by a soldier of La Republique du Cameroon, not by the civilians, correct?
Yes, by La Republique soldier.
How is Bush Rambo doing?
Bush Rambo, he fine, Secretary Chris, but morally, you know, any person where you feel say you do all your best for fight for your people, then you will feel be discouraged. Even though it know say that very quarter day so black leg then day for day. But it be discouraged, but as a fighter, you get to carry your stick. You stand for up like a fighter, because we don't decide say we will stand for Amazonia and until our land be free. But it be strong. Now lion man, it be strong in spirit.
So the
even
law
we get small bruises them, and so they run for bush, but all man they fine. All man they fine.
Okay, so the lockdown starts on Monday in all of Oku, correct?
Yes. And the lockdown, my pass a message where it come out from the fighter them. Say any Oku person where if he say it go side with La Republique military or with the CPDM elites them, then they go against the lockdown. Any bike rider or any person where it want drive a motor, it could face we. Say now we the rule our land, now we the control our land. You don't go inside from Amazonia. Now we own our land, we will get you. If you want to violate the lockdown, then make the person go watch out. No before inside Oku.
Now this lockdown, it get any exceptions where, I mean, certain things where people they fit do or where they fit go. Any exception where when I would need make the people them know?
No exceptions for now. Lockdown could they no motor no could the pass, no bike they no could the pass. People could work out in their foot them, because when we start allow a bike them for work out, we motor them. Say no, me na only this particular me bike them the work out. Military to the disguise they enter inside we. So no exception, no day. So again. We are in Nasowiti, La Republique military, una fisa una go infiltrate with them, get we una no go get we. Una no come between inside our house because we get small misunderstanding, then una fisa una one profit, una no go profit. We stand as Oko people them and we fight as Oko people them. So the soldiers they don't decide. and said indefinite lockdown date for Monday.
Okay, now tell me a little bit about Oku LGA. Is Oku LGA properly constituted and supporting restoration fighters out there with Bush Rambo?
Yes, Oku LGA be constituted. We'll get what defense chair, we'll get what chair, we'll get other executives inside Oku, even though it be very small, but many people they don't be brainwashed. Some people they fear for join. Say
Okay.
no, they no one me and see them. Oh, they still believe say young Philemon and Fire go then a hero. No one look bad for front those people them. I don't know which did wrong, but a few of we even draft the 2020 draft will be 2020 21 draft will be draft. Oku be draft and they be honor their pledges. All man for Oku be draft and they be honor their pledges. So Oku they under LG and we fighter them under the IG and we fighter them don't always be for our back.
Wonderful. All right. Thank you very much for this information and updates. Please, anything, keep me updated, and we will make sure that we pass it out there. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Secretary Chris, and thank you, Ambazonia.
All right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, again, those are the updates coming from Oku. Oku will have a lockdown, indefinite and total lockdown beginning on Monday. Nothing will move. No shop is expected to be open. Ambazonia Restoration Forces will be out there in every nook and cranny in Oku to make sure that that lockdown is enforced. Again, this lockdown is only taking place in Oku, not anywhere else. Anywhere else, our regular ghost towns, they continue in all of Ambazonia. From the northern zone to the southern zone, the ghost towns continue. But in the Oku, it will be ghost and then a lockdown. A ghost for that Monday and a lockdown continuing after that until further notice. And please, if you live in Oku, we'll ask you if you need to buy anything. Use today and through the weekend to do your shopping. Use today and the weekend to do any form of shopping that you've got to do. It is very, very critical. The full weight of this interim government is behind the restoration fighters in Oku, Bush Rambo and his boys. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Now I move to the killings, ladies and gentlemen, the killings that we have witnessed in a few days, within a few days in BAMENDA. And these killings have continued to take place unperturbed in that city by terrorist fighters, terrorist soldiers, ladies and gentlemen of La République du Cameroon. Now, it hasn't been up to a week. We have seen seven innocent Ambazonians murdered in cool blood in BAMENDA. Not by accident, not by restoration fighters, no, by terrorist soldiers of La République du Cameroon. Last Monday, we were here to talk about the killings of the 3 mechanics in BAMENDA. They were killed alone coming from Mendankwe. They were killed by Cameroon soldiers. And is it Bamesing? I think so. Bamesing. 2 boys belonging to the same mother, one mother, ladies and gentlemen, were killed. And I got this confession. It says, on Wednesday, the Cameroon soldiers stormed Bamesing village and killed two young men in their own bedrooms in front of their own mother. Ladies and gentlemen, in front of their own mother. What do you do? What do you do when your home is invaded and in front of you, your two young boys are picked up and shot to death in front of you? What do you do? That's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened in the BAMENDA, ladies and gentlemen. Now, somebody, an eyewitness, has said, and I quote, she says, I lost my two brothers at the same time. They have been killing, they were killed by the military. She wrote, my two brothers are gone. They are gone. Mommy says, Mommy saw how they shot her two sons in front of her. They entered in the village on Wednesday and went after young men. Ladies and gentlemen, went after young men. That's what happened in BAMENDA. Now, yesterday, 3 orders, 2 Okada riders, and alone a girl of 17 years, ladies and gentlemen, was killed around the new church junction towards Mbeng. Somebody, I think they said new church, ladies and gentlemen, Azure. Little girl, 17 years old, was gone down there. You find on your screen one of the mechanics who was gone down, we learn, at the city chemist roundabout. At the city chemist roundabout in BAMENDA. 7, ladies and gentlemen, of our people killed in less than 1 week. 7 of our people killed in less than 1 week. 2 in BAMENDA, 3 in BAMENDA, another 3 in BAMENDA yesterday. The question is, for how long, ladies and gentlemen, for how long do we continue to see these killings? How long do we continue to see these killings? I am now being joined from BAMENDA by somebody who has a report of what happened there. Again, of course, I'm not disclosing the name for obvious reasons, but let's find out. Hello.
Hello, Secretary Chris.
Good evening, ma'am. Good to hear your voice.
Thank you. Good evening, Ambazonia. I want to give the report for what will be happen yesterday for BAMENDA, for Northern Zone.
Okay.
That shooting they start around past 3. And then it be end for 6 o'clock. Yesterday be been an intensive shooting. We never ever experienced the kind of shooting yesterday for this town. All man be there for town. They go about the business. One year gone shot from rendezvous, because this terrorist soldier they can't sleep for rendezvous. So then they say, well, boys them they don't know say the day for day. So now they can pass now.
Rendezvous, that is around Long Last Street. Am I correct?
Yes, you are correct, sir.
Okay.
They start the action now start with the action now start with so they reach right from Tarinkun. Everywhere for BAMENDA, all man they run header scatter. The whole place will be in the chaos form. So that should be they all sides. So then this Okada boys and they run now going up that side for new church. As they go now for that new church, since the whole town be in the chaos form, any man is trying for escape.
Yeah.
As they want go for that side for a new church. Now, they meet up the terrorist soldier, they shoot them all. They die.
Wait. So the restoration forces were driving towards New Church. Am I correct?
No, they not be go for there.
No, you are not correct, sir. The restoration forces they be passed now towards Long La because they be no say that terrorist soldier they be there for Long La street, they be sleep for day.
Okay.
So as they pass the day now, yes, since they don't get the message say the terrorist soldier they there for day, they pass the day now shoot. Then now they start the exchange now they shoot, all them to they shoot. Explosives them, intensive explosives them.
Okay.
The whole BAMENDA yesterday be shaking. The whole BAMENDA yesterday be shaking only for shooting. Then some people they be there for free, they play ball. They just sleep down. They just lie down, sleep down for some 1 hour before they woke up now. Then go for their various homes.
How how the corpse of these Okada riders killed by a lot of public? How did they get their way to City Chemist?
No, they killed them now for as the new church. Now for the way they corpse them. Now for the way they killed them. So their corpse are not there for City Chemist. Now for as the new church.
So the two bikers who were killed, their corpse they will be now for Azuri.
Yes.
How about the girl, the 17 years old girl? Where was she killed?
No, now live around the same place. You know, all mom don't run now for go for a house.
Okay.
Yes. So yesterday the shoot away with the secretary Chris will never ever experience and so explosive they be there all side. BAMENDA just the shake only explosive gunshot. So unfortunately no man will be there except no restoration forces no be there except that bike riders the way they kill them with that girl.
These bike riders they will be identified after?
No, they never be identified yet.
And these were just innocent civilians who were going about doing their business.
Yes, not just innocent civilians.
And
yes, not just innocent civilians. Yes, you know, say when these people then they see any person on top bike, they just suspect and say now restoration forces. So they just shoot any man where they just see them, especially where yesterday they be exchange gun shooting with them. So.
Okay.
Yes. So
okay.
Secretary Chris, something the way I want Adam for this one. I want Adam for this talk for this one they talk so.
All right, go on.
You know, yes, La Republic their strategy na waiting. They want make sure say they reduce the population of Ambazonia. They want make sure say they kill the young boys and so that to reduce the manpower for Ambazonia. So wait I don't want try for talk for you and see. The moment where young boys them, if they feel say they join the restoration forces for protect their own selves, they better. Because than for the work of a me, they can shoot you, me die like a coward, but better you die like a hero.
Correct.
I want propose on one thing say if that will carry because I don't notice something say these young boys they escaped. They don't want to go join these restoration forces for try for fight. If that will carry if time can reach, more restoration forces enter for each home, send out any boy, make give gun, make it fight. Because they try for escape. They try for escape from way to way. I don't try for understand them. So La Republic now, as he knows that they escape the fear, they intimidate them. When they meet up you, they just shoot you down. They don't care whether you've been up. They know say all will be enemy. They know say all will be enemy. We don't mean any good with them. Yes. So now the thing that way I want to try for Adam.
Thank you. Now we also hear say what another thing that a lot of public they do now for use churches, use radio stations and local journalists for propagate do their propaganda. What do you know about this?
Yes, which way they do and they try for say me the churches they try for preach peace. Me they try for preach peace. Me peace day. Try for cover up. Let's say peace day, but where peace no day. But where for back they get their different agenda.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate you with this information. May you remain safe for out there with your family.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Secretary Chris.
All right, thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is it from BAMENDA. Three people, including a lady, shot to death by French Cameroon terrorist soldiers yesterday. And the question that you find on your screen is, how many more will be killed before it means anything to good people? And who do I mean by good people? I mean the good people who are out there taking care of the refugees, the wounded, the killed in Ukraine. Immediately after the first 6 people were murdered, killed in Ukraine, and hundreds began to walk out of the country, the United Nations came in right after, a day after. They did not only rain down sanctions on Russia. Aid was flowing in immediately, ladies and gentlemen. In this conflict between Amazonia and La République du Cameroon, we are told that over 30,000 people have been killed. Over 30,000 people have been killed already. And nobody cares. ECOWAS nations in West Africa, they don't care. The African Union, it doesn't care. CEMAC countries, they don't care. The UN, it doesn't care. Nobody. The Americans don't care. The Germans don't care. They pay lip services and they tell you dialogue. They sing dialogue every day as if dialogue will take place by their pronouncement. We need more than that now. We have seen what it means to go in for, stand for, support, protect people. And Ukraine has taught us that. We want to see what is happening, the international support that is being rallied for Ukraine, being rallied also for the people of Amazonia who have lost over 30,000 of their own in the war they did not look for. In the war they did not provoke. In fact, the same war that Ukraine is fighting is the same type of war that Amazonia is fighting. Russia wants to annex Ukraine. La République du Cameroon has already annexed Amazonia. Some people say, why do you call it the Federal Republic of Amazonia? And why do you call it a government? Or some say, oh, this government thing was a mistake. It was never a mistake, ladies and gentlemen. It was never a mistake. We joined, the Southern Cameroons joined La République du Cameroon as a government. That is what we were. We joined La République du Cameroon as a government. So if we call this one a restoration struggle, what are we restoring? We have restored the government that we lost to La République du Cameroon in 1961. That's why we call it a government. That's why we call it a restoration struggle. That's what we are doing here. It is the same fight that Ukraine is fighting that we are fighting in the southern Cameroons. Russia again wants to annex Ukraine. We are already annexed by La République du Cameroon. And I love what that reporter from BAMENDA said. The other day I heard Field Marshal of Amazonia in an audio talking about recruiting people 40 years and below. I wish every Amazonian could practice the nationalism that we find in Ukraine, where 16 years old, ladies and gentlemen, 16 years old are picking guns and joining their army and defending their country. I wish we had the weapons. I understand why some would not want to do it in our own territory because the weapons are not there. They are not enough. But I think that every adult in Ambazonia, should begin to think of how he or she can contribute to the extinction of everything like the Republic of Cameroon in Ambazonia. You don't have to go out and join the restoration forces. No, you really don't have to. In your own home, I have a guy who tells me in Sako, if you see the things that this guy does just by himself, he has no team, he is alone, he goes out and carry out mayhem against La Republique du Cameroon. That is what everybody in Ambazonia at this time should be doing. Everybody at his or her own corner thinking of what to do to extricate everything La Republique du Cameroon. They are soldiers. Most of their policemen, gendarmes, soldiers, they are your neighbors. Why do you let them stay there? Why do you let them stay there? Why are they still there? Why are you still renting them homes out there, ladies and gentlemen? They should not, Ambazonia should not be safe for anything in uniform from La Republique du Cameroon. Ambazonia should not be. Let me bring in my panel here to talk about this spate of killings going on in our territory. I am joined, ladies and gentlemen, by Barrister Thomasang Martin, joining all the way from London. Barrister, it's a great pleasure to have you back here at ABS. It's a sad thing, and it's not easy to come here every now and again to talk about these killings. These killings, it is painful, and I don't know how you feel every time these things happen, sir. But welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. So when you look at these images coming from BAMENDA, what is your take about these things, sir?
They are very despicable, sad, and being done on purpose. When you see somebody, he kills anybody, or restoration force, he carries him to go and display in a runabout. City chemist runabout, you kill people and you go and display them in runabout as if they are trophies. I've never seen such a thing which is being done. These killings are being done on purpose to frighten and cow the population so that they can be demoralized and perhaps turn against the Ambazonians restoration forces. I think civilians are being targeted on purpose. But you mentioned something very good, that an individual can still take action. I think President Marianta should consider the possibility of bringing up what we call lone wolves. A guy who is trained, he is not working with anybody, he is a lone wolf. We have the groups, but we must have a team, various lone wolves who can carry out operations like agents of Ambazonia and come back. They are not a team. Even if he goes and bring down just one bee, or if he goes and sabotage something, we don't have lone wolves. We should develop lone wolves as an also side by side to support the groups and the camps. But some people should be hidden in the quarters who are lone wolves to carry out operations also.
Right. I think it's a thing of patriotism. It's a thing of patriotism and nationalism for Ambazonians to know that lone wolves attacks are some of the most effective in the kind of warfare that we are practicing and carrying out against La Republique du Cameroon. But the problem is many of them will complain, I don't have this, I don't have that. What can you say about that?
No, it's a situation. At the end of the day, this thing is not too much of material things, it's motivation. If the guy is motivated, let's say in Bamenda, we identify a group of lone wolves, even if we have just 15, 20 of them, and each one now is working by himself, within the month, try and do something, and at the end of the month, we take out the bilang or the scores, see what they've done. If we can support them, we support. If we cannot support, do what you can, but consider safety. Don't go and do things which you end up being killed. Take your time, study it, look for a witness, look for opportunistic attacks, and the rest. A lone wolf doesn't need too much of material things to operate.
Yeah, absolutely. We are also being joined by Comrade Jackson. Jackson, you who serve as the county chair for Momo. Comrade Jackson, again, these killings, they are becoming one too many. What can we do? What can we do, or what should we be doing to limit this, to kind of prevent the kind of spate of killings we see going on nowadays?
Yes, thank you, Sister Chris, and thank you for the good things, the good job you are doing. Um, that is just the right question that you just asked. I'm happy to put my little contribution to save the lives of our people back home. One thing I want to say here, and something that has been happening repeatedly, is that our people that are back in Amazonia or on Ground Zero have not realized that we are in a war. At the time they come to the understanding that we are in a war situation, and they learn to take personal precautions, then these very many killings will be reduced. What do I mean by that? When we learn that the military is in town and there's already shooting, if you are on a bike, if you are traveling somewhere, it is very, very imperative that you stop whatever you're doing and you duck down and you stay there until you know what is happening before you even move. But you will realize that people are with the false premise that, oh, we are already used to it. We are used to guns in Bamenda. We are used to guns in Boya. No, you are not used to gun. You're only used to gun because until until you don't hear it sound. And the time you don't hear the sound of that gun is the time you are dead. So our people need to be very, very conscientious of the fact that we are in a war situation, and you need to move only when it is absolutely necessary. And we understand that at this point, they need to live, they need to survive. Yes, but survival with food and money, and survivor at the gunpoint or from the bullets of La Republique are two different things. So we can survive, but we can still take precaution at the same time to make sure that and then again, there should be a lot of education that we should be doing using platform like this one to educate our people on the necessary measures they need to take anytime they are confronted by the military or with the sound of guns, and especially globally at this time when it is very, very uncertain on Ground Zero. We need to do that education on permanent basis.
One of the things and the messages that I'm getting recently a lot from Ground Zero is about the absence of the restoration fighters. You have been a county chair, and there was a moment you basically couldn't step your foot out there, be it in Boya, in Bamenda, Victoria, Kumba. In fear of what the Ambazonian forces could do. I'm referring to La République du Cameroon soldiers. It appears that La République du Cameroon soldiers are having an upper hand in the cities, to the extent they are now killing our people without any challenge coming. With the exception of that of yesterday, where we learned that quite a number of them were actually gunned down and they went about killing innocent civilians. But the presence of the AROF has been kind of lacking presently on the ground. What would you say about that?
Yes.
And what could be
Yeah.
done?
What I would say is that, Secretary Chris, there are two different scenarios we're talking about. The urban warfare or urban guerrilla warfare is different from uh, um, uh, um, warfare that is taking place in the hinterland, where you can they know their way. But when you get into a populated area, it's a different ball game. But again, you got to understand at this point that given the situation that is happening in with the IG, all of us know that there is a lot of confusion, and this confusion that is happening in the diaspora has is translated into what is happening on the ground. So I think it is better time for the IG to put themselves together and do the right thing. But the situation on the ground is, um, it was a time when these things could not happen. But what is happening now has a direct effect on the ground. So for those of us and those of you out here who think that it is okay to do what we're doing, you don't think about the families that are dying on the ground, because these people could have been alive if they did things the right way, especially here in the diaspora. And people are calling individuals and giving their own opinions and creating confusion. I believe that it is high time we put our acts together if we really want this independence, and work as a team, and bringing every other persons together, so that if it means that we should go and sit and discuss and stop this rampant killing, it's going to be very, very primordial for us, instead of fighting each other. Meanwhile, the real killing is going on the ground.
Again, many people have talked about the need for all Ambazonians, the men and the young men, to pick up their arms and join those who are currently in the bushes, taking care, fighting this war. What is your opinion about that?
Yes, that place in that premise of general consciousness, because if you are conscious that you're in a war situation, then it's going to limit. Because if you look at most of the deaths that are happening in Amazonia today, is from people that are not they're not from the restoration forces. It is because of people that are going about doing their day-to-day activities, forgetting that when the military come, for the most part, they have no they don't differentiate between you who is on Okada boy and the military. So if they have to do it, and if they have to do the recruitment, and if they have to think like the Ukrainian, I I understand that there's a different angle of it that is going on now, where they say Ukrainians abroad are going to Ukraine to fight too. So why we're putting pressure on everyone on the ground to join the revolution so as to be safe? I think it is imperative too for all the noisemakers abroad to volunteer, go home and join the struggle too, and do their own part of the struggle, so that they can liberate their motherland. So what you're saying is true, Secretary Chris, but it doesn't matter how many people leave diaspora and go down, or how many guys join the struggle on the ground. What is important is how organized are they, how, where is the command structure, and who is saying what to who. And those are some of the things that, the more we get into this struggle, the more fragmented we are going, and the more confusion comes in. And all this, it just gives the advantage to the enemy. To Sometimes we are doing their own work. To be honest to you.
All right. Let's leave it there, and we will come back there shortly. Let me take the audience to something new that came up today. I'm sure you all got up this morning listening to some audios coming from Dr. Samuel Ekome Sako. Finally confessing, ladies and gentlemen, finally confessing of actually knowing about and participating in what is famously known as the CDC deal. What is famously known as the CDC deal. Now, you will all recall that when this thing was first mentioned, it did not come from yours truly. It didn't come, the information, the release didn't come from yours truly. But it happened that I was. Now listen to me, for those who cut messages and join out there, the headmaster out there and the little gang that knows how to cut messages and put them together. So let me say it again. The CDC deal was brought out by Sako's people with whom he carried out the deal. I did not bring out the piece of information. I only came from behind, if you will all recall, to confirm when Sako came out and said he doesn't know what they were talking about. He had no idea what this CDC thing was all about until the Restoration Council began to put out pieces of documents connected to that deal. It was not until then Sako came out and said, I have no idea. I know nothing about what you guys are talking about. Now, you will also remember a reference, ladies and gentlemen, made about Dr. Abongwa's testimony at the Restoration Council about some $200,000 deal. Some $200,000 deal that Sako, ladies and gentlemen, was also either you sign or was about signing. Of course, the thing is, nobody up to today knows whether he signed the $200,000 deal or whether he did not. We know for sure he collected funds from the National Treasury. The funds would be used in signing the deal. He was working on that deal with Barrister John Frew in Sako. What happened to that deal? Nobody knows. But Dr. Abongwa has Sako on the record talking about the signing of that deal. I am talking about $200,000. Today, nobody knows where the money went to. Back to the CDC deal. Sako came out and said, I have no idea what they are talking about. He wasn't responding to me. He was responding to the testimony, ladies and gentlemen, of Dr. Abongwa at the Restoration Council. It was then, after hearing Sako saying, I know not what they are talking about. I don't understand where they are coming from. I don't know anything about this CDC deal. It was only then I came out to say, Mr. President, you don't know anything about the CDC deal. Do you know that I originally brought that deal to you? And you can cut that and put it out there as you normally would do. Of course, you will not put this part, ladies and gentlemen. But that isn't as if Chris Anu went knocking at the doors of CDC and saying, hey, give us money, let's exchange money and let us fight so we can use it in fighting this war. No, never like that. People knock at your doors. We are in this struggle. We have discussed again and again. If we see people that will sponsor this struggle, ladies and gentlemen, we will not shy away from it. And for those who think that taking CDC money is taking La République du Cameroon's money, where is CDC, sirs? CDC is not in the land of La République du Cameroon. CDC is Ambazonian owned. Ambazonian owned. It is called Commonwealth Development Corporation, not Cameroon Development Corporation. That was the original name of CDC, Commonwealth Development Corporation. Ladies and gentlemen, it is in Ambazonia. Sonora is in Ambazonia. Pamo is in Ambazonia. Mountain water, I don't know the other name. These are all Ambazonian company. The money they make is coming from our land. They come in and they promise $1 million, $500 million, 50,000 francs to support the struggle. If I am the leader, I will take that money. Listen to me carefully. I will take that money. So the idea that, oh, you are going to La République du Cameroon and talking about this deal. No, the deal had nothing to do with La République du Cameroon. It had everything to do with CDC that is in our land, exploiting our land, paying no taxes to our people. CDC has been there for years. Sonora has been there for years. What do we have to show in Ambazonia for Sonora? CDC has been there. What do we have to show for CDC for years? Pamo has been there. What do we have to show for Pamo for years? Look at the road heading to Indian Division, Indian County, ladies and gentlemen. That is where Pamo is. There is no single track of road possible heading into Indian, and yet Indian produces the food resources that take care of all of that those two countries. And somebody say, accepting a deal from CDC was taking money from La République du Cameroon. I promise you, if it comes tomorrow, I will take it and deploy it into this struggle. But listen, so I came out to say, Mr. President, did you say you know nothing about CDC? Mr. President, have you forgotten that a phone call came to me and I took it to you, and you called the Sako chairman? He is still out there, Mola Idi. I took it, the phone call came to me. I took it to Mr. President. Mr. President now brought in the Sako chairman, had meetings with this Sako guy. I had left it in their hands and walked away, ladies and gentlemen. When something comes in through you in the struggle like this, you must not be in the middle until it is over. No, absolutely not. I had nothing to do with that. I had nothing to do with Sako. How would somebody here, I am in Sako negotiating some deals, when you have a Sako chairman and the president of Ambazonia seated right there? I was just a messenger through which a phone call came in, and I went to Sako and said, hey, this is what these people are saying. What do you do? Sako negotiated. As I brought that information to him, took that information to him, I had the first meeting. Sako said it is not good that I go there first. This thing should not be said out here, but we have no choice. When he is out there now making these lies. Sako said, I don't want to go there first. You go talk to him. With Sako chairman. Mola Idi is out there. He joined me, ladies and gentlemen. We talked to this guy. And this guy told us what they needed. That was the one and only meeting. The one and only meeting we had with that agent. I said to Sako and the Sako chair and said, this is about Sako. I really don't have anything to do with it. You guys take care of it. I was done. I was done with it. But when these problems within the house started, I started hearing CDC deal. Sako made money out of it. I was shocked, ladies and gentlemen, because I knew nothing about it. I was shocked. It was only then. Now, let me tell you why I was shocked. I was shocked because After handing it to them and walking away, I called Sako 4 months after it and said, Mr. President, how far did you guys go with that CDC guy? And Sako said, oh, they made a very small offer. The offer was too small, and we didn't take it. We just didn't take it. And I took him for his word, because I thought this was a man with integrity. I thought this was a pastor. I thought this guy was a God-fearing somebody. I never questioned his integrity in saying that, oh, we denied the deal. We didn't take the deal because the offer they made was too small. Ladies and gentlemen, it is only, I think, 3 months ago when all these problems started, I started hearing about Sako deal, CDC deal. And I thought, could this be the same deal that I received the phone call? It was then I called the Sako chairman and asked him, hey, Mr. Chairman, how did that deal go? The Sako chairman stated they reached an agreement for 30 million francs a month. And documents were forwarded to him, the Sako chair, to pass to Mr. President Samuel Sako to sign for the contract, ladies and gentlemen. The moment the Sako chairman passed the documents to Sako, Sako cut him off and began dealing directly with the CDC agent. Let me say this. This is a government made up of institutions. When deals are about to be made, when deals get to a certain point, it is incumbent upon the president or whosoever is negotiating it to now engage the enlarged government into it. The enlarged government here being the Restoration Council, at least the chair of the Restoration Council, should be brought aware of it. The vice president should be brought aware of it. The National Treasury, because that money would have to go into the National Treasury, should be made aware of it. But ladies and gentlemen, Sako now, once the forms for him to sign got into his hands, even Sako chairman was cut off. The National Treasury is not aware of it. The chair of the Restoration Council is not aware of it. The vice president is not aware of it. They got to be aware of it as a result of investigations carried out by the Restoration Council, that these documents now began to surface. But don't forget, Sako said originally he did not know. He did not know about anything CDC. In fact, he doesn't know what they are talking about. Now he has come out today to acknowledge that in fact he did know about this deal. He said, oh, the dealer in chief, referring to yours truly, actually brought it to him. I don't know why. And I also heard somewhere Sako say he brought the Swiss deal too. Ladies and gentlemen, when you hear me use the word con man out there, I am not being mean. I am not by any means being mean. I am just describing to you exactly, ladies and gentlemen, who this guy is. I am going to play you parts of the audio that Samuel Sako put out in an address at his Sako and Associates conference that took place over the weekend in the DC. Now listen to him. This is Samuel Sako.
Thank you. Thank you, Chief of Staff. I put on this.
I think I got the wrong audio there. This is the right audio.
BLM people them. You don't ask general.
Again, this is the wrong audio.
For their, we don't hold them tight. We don't be break
on by people from groups that contribute zero to our liberation quest. They want to be kingmakers in a stronghold they ideologically oppose. We are no longer going to have to do with the notorious Government Affairs Committee used by Mr. Volga Komita, who hijacked an arm of our government without regard to the concerns raised by our local government areas and counties, which they purportedly spoke for. What a crop of arrogant haters of the IG. We no longer have to deal with CPDM pretenders in that former house of shame, political relatives from Golengole, friends of Eko Maxi, Colonel Bankwi, or irrelevant Jangute, or the hungry dealmakers holding our gavel again. Just a whisper, tell Ambazonians. Yes, Mr. Dealmaker of Ambazonia brought a corrupt and bogus CDC deal to me in 2019.
Okay, I hope you heard that, ladies and gentlemen. The corrupt deal maker brought a bogus CDC deal to me when in 2019. I'm not even sure, ladies and gentlemen, that was 2019. I think it was sometime early 2020. Listen to him.
The only thing he did not tell you is that I rejected you with every fiber of my being.
Ladies and gentlemen, did you hear him? The only thing he says, the only thing he did not tell you is that he rejected it. Sako says he rejected the CDC deal with every fiber in his being. In his being. Now, listen to this. He confesses, but he's not confessing everything. He is not. He is not confessing everything. There is a cut check. There is a cut check in the name of Sako out there, ladies and gentlemen, from CDC, paid to him. Now, he is not confessing that indeed he entered into some contract with CDC. The documents are there. The cut checks are there. I challenge him if I am blaspheming him or assassinating his character. Mr. Sako, please seek the lawyers. Let's continue and hear him.
That was not the only deal he brought.
That was not the only deal. That was not the only deal I brought. Now listen to him.
He also brought the Angola deal, and I rejected it. He brought me the Somaliland deal that would have got me kidnapped by Colonel Bankwi in Addis Ababa. Had I not refused his...
Okay, now listen, you heard two things there. He did not only bring me the CDC deal. He brought me the Angolan deal. He brought me a Somaliland deal. Ladies and gentlemen, please listen to me. When you see me sitting here calling somebody a con man, what Nigerian call, what we call in Nigerian parlance, 419, Samuel Ekome Sako is a great example. He is a great example of exactly what a con person is all about. Nothing, ladies and gentlemen, like Angolan deal. Maybe you should be asked, what was it about this Angola? Again, fellow Ambazonians, we are in war. We are in war. And you receive information. You receive tips that come to you that could mean something that promotes, that take our struggle to another level. When you receive that information, what do? You pass it to the chain of command. I would expect Sako to say, Chris was pushing me. Chris wanted me at all costs to take this deal or to do this deal. I want him to say so. He will not. He cannot, because that was not the case. There is one thing to say, hey, Mr. President, I got this information. Let's look at it and see if we can make anything out of it. And it is another thing to say, come to you to say, Mr. President, we must do this thing. Let's do these things. That is it. And the reason why Sako cannot lead this country, Sako cannot be the leader of this country, ladies and gentlemen, is for reasons like this. He reasons like a con person who must make something out of nothing. I traveled to Somaliland and I met the government of Somaliland. I had a wonderful reception over there, ladies and gentlemen, as an Ambazonian in that country. When I returned, I gave Mr. President the report of my visit. And then Somaliland was supposed to be celebrating their 30th independence in May 30th. After being the hungry man that Sako Ikome is, that I believe many of you now know, Sako said to me, I want to go there. I want to go to Somaliland. Can you call them and talk to them? I want to participate in their independence. And I said, great. I called there, ladies and gentlemen, and they were ready to receive Sako Ikome. I never asked him, do you want to be there? Should we go there? And so on. No. When he heard about the great reception I was accorded there, he said, I want to go there for their independence. Call them. I picked the phone and I called them over there. They says, yes, I would like to welcome him. But see, ladies and gentlemen, when you listen to him, you see the way he manipulates that information. Of course, you were never there. You cannot understand the truth about this. He now says he was going to go there to be king. Ladies and gentlemen, that thing was never even to take place. Because Somaliland now said, because of the outbreak of COVID in their country, they cancel the independence celebration, the 30th anniversary celebration. It was cancelled because of COVID. So now look at this. Where is Sako if he is not the liar-in-chief, the con person that we are talking about here? If he is not, where was somebody planning to kill him? That's what he says in that audio. Where was he planning to be killed? In where, ladies and gentlemen? Instead, I was the one I so strongly believe, ladies and gentlemen, they wanted to kill me. They wanted, Sako really wanted to get me assassinated in Ethiopia. I have not mentioned this before. I got to Ethiopia 7 p.m. I had to spend about 9 hours sleeping in that airport until 9 a.m. the following day to take the next flight. I didn't know, ladies and gentlemen, a lot of people in Cameroon was monitoring me in that airport. And when I left for that place, only two people knew about it. Sako Samuel and the vice president. Of course, the vice president would not for any reason want to expose my travel agenda. But it was Sako who knew where I was going to. Guess what? I received a phone call from the Republic of Cameroon telling how they saw me. You will not believe who it came from. They called me, they told me how they saw me in Ethiopia. Ladies and gentlemen. And who got that information? This is one of the security chiefs from La Republic of Cameroon. When I returned, and when I got this information, months after I returned, I called Sako and said, can you believe what I just heard? I was being monitored when I was going to Somaliland. Sako just smiled and said, wow, those people like that, and they pass like that. Nobody Nobody would go after Sako. The man doesn't travel, doesn't go anywhere unless where he finds a little money will show up. Like in the case of Somaliland, where after hearing the way the reception I got over there, he was desperate to get there. He was so desperate to get there. Those are the kind of places he goes to. Goes to Brazil, where he makes a little chunk of money based on lies. Lies he churns out. Ladies and gentlemen, I will not bring you the entire audio. But listen, ladies and gentlemen, this guy, they call Sako Samuel, God took him out of this struggle. He could have messed up everything. We will not be having any remnants left other than people that surround him for business purposes. So, ladies and gentlemen, when you hear him talk, know that he is a liar in chief in this struggle. And I'm not just saying this. If somebody can stand in front of a congregation of about 1,000 people, ladies and gentlemen, to tell them that he passed out churches. He had so many churches until he began to distribute them. That man can say anything when he has something to gain. That man can say anything when he has something to gain. He was in this church that you see him shunning lies to the people, telling them how he had so many churches that he had to give them out, cut them out and give them out for free. Now, let's listen to it before I bring in my panel here.
Comecei a trabalhar no ministério.
8 years after I established churches,
8 anos depois eu tinha estabelecido igrejas.
God told me,
Deus me disse:
hand over the churches to your children.
Entrega as igrejas para os seus filhos.
I have an assignment for you.
Eu tenho uma tarefa para você.
So one day I came to church.
E aí um dia eu fui para a igreja.
I told my wife,
falei para minha esposa,
God says we should hand over the church to the children.
Deus mandou eu entregar a igreja para os filhos.
He said, including the Bible school. I said, yes.
Ela falou, incluindo a escola bíblica, e eu disse sim.
He said, okay.
E ela disse, ok.
So I came in front of the service.
E aí eu vim diante dos obreiros.
All my children.
Eu chamei todos os filhos.
The pastors.
Os pastores.
I said, God said, I hand over this church to you guys.
Os filhos são obreiros formados no ministério.
You will take care of the Bible school.
Falei para eles, você vai cuidar da escola bíblica.
You will take care of the main congregation.
Você vai cuidar da congregação dos homens.
You in that city, you take care of that.
Você nessa cidade cuida dessa
You in that city, take care of that.
Você nessa cidade cuida dessa igreja.
They said, Daddy, what will become of you?
E eles disseram, tá, mas o que vai acontecer com
God
você?
says he has an assignment for me.
Eu disse para minha esposa,
God says we should hand over the church to the children.
Deus mandou eu entregar a igreja para os filhos.
He said, including the Bible school. I said, yes.
Ela falou, incluindo a escola bíblica, e eu disse sim.
He said, okay.
E ela disse ok.
So I came in front of the service.
E aí eu vim diante dos obreiros.
All my children.
Eu chamei todos os filhos.
The pastors.
Os pastores.
I said, God said, I hand over this church to you guys.
Os filhos são obreiros formados no ministério.
You will take care of the Bible school.
Falei para eles, você vai cuidar da escola bíblica.
You will take care of the main congregation.
Você vai cuidar da congregação dos homens.
You in that city, you take care of that.
Você nessa cidade cuida dessa igreja.
You in that city, take care of that.
Você nessa cidade cuida dessa igreja.
They said, Daddy, what will become of you?
Now, ladies and gentlemen, what you hear there is Samuel Ekome Sako, our God-sent leader, who's supposed to be a pastor, lying before a congregation of about 1,000 people. How he had these so many churches. And then, when God said to him, give them out, distribute them out, including the Bible school. Samuel Ekome Sako is in front of over 1,000 people with commando. Pastor commando sitting behind him. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. That is commando sitting right there with a camera videoing. And Samuel Ekome Sako is right there in front of Commando and that congregation churning out lies how he had all these churches, including a Bible school. A Bible school, and God told him. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if somebody can shamelessly go before 1,000 people and said he had so many churches, and because he was this great man of God, he listened to the voice of God and began to distribute the churches, what can he not say? Can you believe any one thing he says to you? Listen to it again, ladies and gentlemen. Listen to it again.
But I know the voice of God.
Mas eu conheço a voz de Deus.
Hallelujah.
Aleluia.
Hallelujah.
Aleluia.
So I relinquished responsibilities.
Igrejas, outros movimentos.
And I find myself working with the United Nations.
E eu me achei trabalhando com as nações.
And by the way, listen to him. He found himself working with the United Nations. The United Nations. Samuel Ekome Sako worked with the United Nations. How does somebody, ladies and gentlemen, work with the United Nations and has no house, has nowhere to live, has left the United Nations with such a great resume, cannot find a job out there to do? How is that possible? If I had a resume working for the United Nations, assuming it was a contract job, then I get out of it, won't people be running after me for my resume and my expertise? But of course, that was another lie. Listen to the rest.
Unidas.
God was giving me experience.
Deus estava me dando experiência.
Because 10 years after that,
Porque 10 anos depois disso,
the prophecy of God will fulfill.
A profecia de Deus se cumpriu.
Hallelujah.
Aleluia.
The president called me.
O presidente me ligou.
I said, will you like to join the government?
E ele disse, você quer se juntar ao governo?
I said, let me ask my wife.
Eu falei, tá.
Now, note it again what he is saying there. Sako is saying in that tape, he doesn't mention which president called him. He says, sometime after, the president called me. Which president? You don't hear it in that tape. The president. President of which country? You don't hear it in that tape. Again, that is the language of a con person and the language of a fabricator, a liar. Listen to it.
Vou perguntar para minha mulher.
As I was going to ask my wife,
Daí quando eu ia perguntar para minha esposa,
so why should I ask my wife? God told me something like this.
eu falei, mas por que eu vou perguntar para minha esposa se Deus já me falou isso?
So I told Mr. President, yes, I agree.
E eu falei para o presidente, sim, eu vou.
So they put my name in the government.
E aí colocaram meu nome lá no governo.
About 6 months after,
6 meses depois,
something happened to the president.
Algo aconteceu com o presidente.
I was supposed to be in that meeting. I was supposed to be in that meeting. I was supposed to be in that meeting. I was supposed to be in that meeting.
E eu deveria.
Sako says he was supposed to be in that meeting. Now, do you know the meeting he is referring to? He is referring to the meeting in Abuja in which Sako and 9 others were abducted, ladies and gentlemen. He says he was supposed to be in that meeting. Now, what he's trying to do there is brainwash the congregants in that church to show you how important that he was. Ladies and gentlemen, I was the communication secretary, still the communication secretary. Samuel Ekome Sako was only under secretary. He didn't have any idea of what going on in Abuja, and neither did any one of us here in the diaspora. Even Wilfred Tasang, who lived in Abuja or in Nigeria then, has said again and again he had no idea about what this meeting was about. But you can hear the liar in chief telling you he was supposed to be in that meeting, trying to show how important, how magnificent he was in the government. Which government, of course, he doesn't mention it. Listen again.
Estar
But
naquela reunião.
I was not in the meeting.
Mas eu não estava na reunião.
And something terrible happened to all of them.
E algo terrível aconteceu com todos eles.
So the government came and called. I was the only one who's kind of survived.
E eu meio que fui o único que...
Did you hear that, ladies and gentlemen? Something terrible happened. Sako says he was the only one who survived. He was the only one who survived the abduction in Nigeria. Fellow Ambazonians, I really need to do this so that we are able to decipher who is lying to you here. If this guy can go before 1,000 people seated there, you can see Pastor Commando taking videos from the back, telling these lies, hoping that it never gets out there. I don't know how many of you still believe in anything this guy has told you. He says he is the only one who survived the Naira 10. He was never there. He was never meant to be there. But hear what he is telling the church.
So they went into a closed door meeting.
E aí eles entraram numa reunião a portas
And
fechadas.
they voted me 99% that I will be the one to replace him.
E aí 99 votaram que eu seria a pessoa para tomar o lugar dele.
That is how on the 4th of February 2018 I became the president.
E foi assim que no dia
That is how he became the president. The president of what? You listen to the entire tape. It is not edited, ladies and gentlemen. But you listen to the entire tape. He never mentioned the president of what that he became. You only hear, I became president. I became president. They made me president. Fellow Ambazonians, if again, this guy could be saying this in front of a congregation of at least 1,000 people without being ashamed, take nothing from what you hear from him out there. When we call him a con person, we really mean what we say. These messages in this church in Brazil will forever haunt him and make him the liar that he is. Ladies and gentlemen, if he could not stand before a congregation of God-fearing people to speak the truth, why do you think he will come before you when he needs your money to speak the truth? No way. I am being joined by my panel again, but this time I will start with Comrade Sebastian Mbareku, who has followed Sako for so long from day number one. He was, in fact, the security chief. He had all the security details of Sako, ladies and gentlemen. Comrade Sebastian, you have listened to the audio message that Sako was supposedly making a speech out there in one of his so-called ASSC meeting, and he began churning out the lies once more. There was no CDC, and now there was CDC. Why should anybody believe him with all that we see in this church?
I first of all want to say hi to all Ambazonians that are listening to or watching ABS Live, and those that are on Facebook, those are on YouTube, and those that are watching from satellite. I think it's a great pity. I had decided that I will not come on here to talk about leaders, because this is a time for us to forge forward, to move forward and look for the way forward. How can we come together? But when I keep on seeing things like this emerge, I still feel like I should come and clear the air. When I watch this video, I still ask myself, do Ambazonians really know what they are doing? Do we really know what we are doing? Are we just following blindly? How can somebody stand in front of the altar, in front of the church, and say these lies? The golden question, or the $1 million question I have for Ambazonians that still follow the impeached president is, has any one of you ever taken a minute to ask Mr. President, as you call him, did you really stand in front of the pulpit and say these things, or is this just some sort of a Nigerian movie what we're watching? Did you really say these lies? I mean, I'm so embarrassed when I look at myself. I just feel so ashamed of myself. Do we really do? Has somebody taken his time to ask Dr. Sako, did you really say these things in church? Did you really lie? I mean, Secretary Chris, you may want to know this is the only reason that made me to leave Sako. Because you see, I graduated from church. I don't go to church because I hate false prophets. I hate lies. I hate people that say A and do B. I mean, it will not be surprise. It will not be a great surprise or a big surprise to Ambazonians if Dr. Sarkozy come out there and lie to Ambazonians. I mean, to me, it's not a surprise. It's not going to be a surprise. Thank you.
Well, now listening to the audio message where he now says, "Oh, yeah, I actually knew about CDC." What is your take on that?
Well, I will tell you, as you know, I am clueless about those deals, but from all my own investigations, I actually know there was something and he was aware of it. The thing is, if you were aware of it, did you tell the Restoration Council? Did you tell your cabinet? Who else knew? You just took the powers and say you turn it down. Did you consult the Restoration Council? Did you consult your treasury? I mean, it's still not. I mean, the dots are not still connecting because you cannot say you turned something down in the first place. You refused that, you knew nothing about it, and now you are turning it down. And then let me make a follow up of that audio. I want to make Ambazonians understand one thing. I have been with Dr. Sako for a while. Dr. Sako doesn't want to go to anywhere. He doesn't want to travel. Every time they call a meeting with all the leaders, Ayaba is there, the chairman commentator is there, Akwanga is there, Jomba Akoro will want to go. Dr. Sako will never go to any meeting because he is afraid he will be picked up. Let me tell you something. We are here in the United States. If America wants to pick Dr. Sako, it's going to be 1 second. 1 second is just a blink of an eye. I don't know why he's afraid to go to places that are going to. Who was going to pick him up in Somaliland for what? Who is he?
I don't know.
Who is he? Who is going to pick him up in Somaliland for what? He's irrelevant. I want to make something clear, Secretary Chris. I don't care if Ambazonians say, as they always tag me, and a York Tabe man, a Yaba person. I will make this clear here. Ayaba Cho Lucas has relevant on ground zero more than Sako. Take it or leave it. He is feared in La Republique more than Sako. Take it or leave it. That is a bitter truth. So nobody care to. I said it to him one time that if you and Secretary Chris come out from a car in my 17, I mean, just like 5 people will know you, 5 people will identify you. But by the time Secretary Chris come out from the car, the whole of my 17, they will recognize him. You can walk from my 17 right up to Bukwango. Nobody will identify you. And let me something that came out when the audio started. It was about people not contributing. That some people are not contributing to this. I mean, this is really really disgusting. This should not come out from a person we were calling president. A revolution is like building a house. When you are building a house, if the community house like a church, the people that don't have money, they will go and help to give mud. That's how we did it. The people that don't have money, they will go and help to carry blocks. So this revolution, there are people that are pushing this revolution in their own way. You, Secretary Chris, I don't think there is. I cannot compare what you are doing in this revolution to what he is doing. I will tell you the bitter truth. There are people here that contribute thousands of dollars. Those people travel to Ground Zero every day and come back. But there are some of us here that they tell us we don't contribute. But we cannot go to Ground Zero. That is the irony in it. Secretary Chris, can you
Yeah.
go to Ground Zero now? You'll be picked up.
How is it possible?
The sacrifice you do there, the life of your family members are at risk. But there are people that contribute money, they do their things, they go about, and it doesn't mean that you must take your money, go put in CID before they know you are contributing. Some of us, we send money to Ground Zero, we send money to Ground One. I know Chairman Kometa, he spends his personal money to Nigeria every time to go spend to go feed refugees. You know, so the fact, so if we will not go only with CID, there are Amazonians that go out there and make propaganda that some of us don't contribute money. But these same Amazonians that are here in the DMV, they will charge $20. They will give a receipt of $20 to the IG just for transporting somebody or the impeached president to DC. Every bit of thing, they buy a bottle of wine, they will charge the IG. But some of us, we've been sacrificing. We've paid bills for the president. We've done a lot. But we'll not, you'll never hear somebody go out there and ask for $1 and say, oh, we need to be refunded. So it's a big mistake for you to tell Ambazonians that some people are not contributing. I think, Chris, you are one of the highest people that is contributing to this struggle. If somebody wants to say they are paying you, you will not, what they were paying him is not even going to be, you'll be paid 3 times that amount. The time you come here and spend, even when you're in SEBC, ABC, and now ABS, who pays you for that time? Can they pay you 1 hour? Can Ambassador pay 1 hour of your time? I mean, we should, if we are putting a leader, I would tell this, I would tell the new president, I would tell President Iya Marata this. Everybody has his or her way to contribute to this revolution. Ground zero or here, everybody has his or her way. It is not only going to go put money in the CID that we should know that, or people will know that you are contributing to this revolution. That is not how a good leader is supposed to articulate things. Thanks, Secretary Chris.
Thank you. Let me move over to Barrister Martin out here. Barrister Martin, one thing I like with you, sir, is that you are very critical out there, but you put your money exactly where your mouth is. You donate, you contribute. At the last drive, I think I saw you rallying people together to donate, I think about $40,000 into Mezam. I don't know where the money ever came, but at least everybody saw that effort. Last weekend, when we carried out the launch for ARF, you called from London and put in $1,000. Now, when you are a contributor, and you see people like Sako, who's supposed to be managing your money, going out and churning this level of lies. What do you say? What do you do, sir?
Secretary Chris, the first thing we start is, whoever chose Sako, did he do his due diligence? Because to give somebody the position of president, you must do some background checks. If Sako is a con man or a liar and the rest, did he start today? Were there no people who knew of his background, or we were so desperately looking for a president that we didn't care the background? I think we made a fundamental error. I understand he had some issues with some credit unions or whatever back home, and those traits were there. We should have checked all that. We find ourselves with a president that you've rightly described as a con man. His academic certificates are dodgy. He says he graduated from Tarampon. He had a master's and a PhD. Tarampon is classified as number 50 by South African government for online bogus degrees. If you claim you have a PhD, then you go to South Africa and say they can arrest you. You buy it online. It is a degree scam. We know of Tarampon. So it's not only about the money. The academics is very dodgy. I'm talking about a school that American government say we don't recognize it. South African government says it's a fraud. So the thing is everywhere. I don't know why we are even worried about it. It's something everybody knows.
Barrister, he told me himself he got his doctorate from the University of Calabar. No,
he never said that. He got his degree. Go to even on his LinkedIn and check. He claims he has a PhD from Tarampon. Tarampon is a fraudulent institution classified as number 50 under the bogus degree institutions who are selling degrees online by South African government. You can go online and check it. I've been to check on Tarampon. Tarampon write that our degrees might not be accepted by other institutions. They might not be accepted to further your studies, and they might not be accepted by many employers. They cover themselves so that you don't sue them. said they are not recognized by the Department of Education in America. They even tell you that your supervisors in your home country, when you do it, you pay them directly. A university where you pay your own lecturers directly, service they give to you, and they just buy this thing online. He might have studied in Calabar. I'm not saying, because the investigation showed that he spent some time in Calabar. I don't know. But the masters and PhD he bought from Terrapon. Terrapon is not a university. It is not recognized by America. It's been published by all other countries. There is another fraud from Malawi who also claims he bought a PhD from the same Terrapon. Malawians are calling it miracle PhD because this guy claims to do miracles, another churchman. So the whole thing is a fraud, from financial to academic to anything. If you put a degree from Terrampon here, in South Africa, they even arrest you for saying you have a PhD. So it's something we all know. The fact that we stay quiet, the fraud, why are we, is it just something today? It is all from education to financial to religious. The corners is all over. So why are we bothered? It's a disaster we got on our shoulders.
But tell me, what do you think of this sudden shift from, I didn't know anything about CDC, now I know something about it. And by the way, what do you think of my argument? CDC belongs to us. It is on our soil. Sonora is the same. Pamo is the same. What is wrong about collecting their money and fighting La République du Cameroon with it? So if you have, I'd like to get your take on that.
The issue is not the collecting money. If you can call La République to get money and not do what they want to do, what is so wrong with that? I don't even have a problem. If you deceive La République and gather some money there and we use for ourselves, the problem is even collecting the money and stealing it for your personal use. If the guy collected the money, say, I put it in the treasury, this is what I collected, it is in the treasury here, we're talking a different story. You can deceive, whether you are deceiving CDC, you deceive La République, collect the money and use. I don't have a problem with that one. First of all, a lot of institutions in Amazonia, if we have a way of collecting taxes from them, that's fine, but not into personal pockets.
Exactly. I think it's a matter of time we would have to start collecting taxes from all of those companies, and let us see who says, oh, that is La République du Cameroon's money, as if the companies are in La République du Cameroon. They belong to us.
No, nothing wrong from collecting money from these companies if they can collect. I don't have a problem. We need sponsors.
What is wrong, though? What is wrong is putting the money in your private pocket. The money should go to Ambazonia's treasury. That is where it belongs.
Correct. Not private money collection.
All right. Let me bring in Comrade Jackson. Comrade Jackson, you have been listening to this to and fro, and Sako trying to now come out to say, no. I mean, going back and coming forward. First, I knew nothing about CDC. Now, yes, the dealer actually brought it to me. What do you make of that?
Oh, Secretary Chris, I had to laugh when I listened to that audio, and when I listened to the church, was it a sermon or it was a melodrama? Let me say this with a very straight face, Secretary Chris. We have been celebrating mediocrity, and some persons are still celebrating mediocrity. Mediocrity coming from Mr. Sako, because for him to say now that he acknowledging the fact that he knew about the deal, is nothing strange. What he's doing, because what he does good is to weaponize information and use that information to achieve his objectives.
Correct.
He suddenly realized that if I can accept this deal, then I can make somebody look bad. So in that wise, he continuously shift the goalpost. And of course, when you lie, you forget, and then you put yourself in a situation where you have to acknowledge some of the lies that you did. And just give me some permission. Let me make some clarifications here and to educate Amazonians and everybody listening. Because if Sako complains that you brought wrong deals, and so the question we should be asking for 4 years, he should be telling Amazonians and the world how many deals he himself initiated.
He has
Because
succeeded.
to the best of my understanding is zero. Number two, if he is complaining about somebody going to a foreign country, I'm asking the question today. I've never heard former President Sako give an interview to a foreign radio station or TV station. And this is somebody that was on is currently or was on the payroll of Amazonia. If they pay you for you to be comfortable, there are certain things you need to do for the people. If you can't even go visit, go make a tour because you're scared you're going to be caught, you can't even grant a TV interview or radio station interview in your bedroom. So what have you been doing? These are some of the things that when I'll first of all sit here and apologize, because some of us, we were people that were at the time we were supporting our institutions. We gave him all the support that he needed, but we came up to realize that this guy wasn't good for us. So for him to come out now to justify, especially what happened in Brazil, you cannot sit in a church and you tell people that, and this is been the most shameful part of it. For those of you out there that are following this guy, this is the problem. He is so corny to even mention the name of Sako, who appointed him into his cabinet. That is the most deceitful and most cold-hearted thing to do for a revolutionary. Sako brought you to that government, and you don't have the courage to call his name. You call a president. You don't have the courage to call the country you think you are the president of, Amazonia. But you just have to play games, play with words. And by the way, when some of us sat here and listened, it was that he was going on a diplomatic mission. And that was a diplomatic mission. It is very shameful, Secretary Chris, that under Sako, the IG continued to divide. He has never done anything to bring this IG together and bring other leaders together.
Yeah,
If your balance sheet and your progress report is division and division and division, where else are you leading us to? What happened to Fako at the time when Fako needed to be together to fight? Tell us. He talking about the deal. He said some money was paid for the deal, about 100,000. But note that Bishop John said about 70 something thousand came to for that deal, but the president reported 135 coming out of the treasury. But he was very careful with his words. He said about 100, something above 100,000 was paid. You see, this guy knows how to weaponize and manipulate information. And for people that don't see these things, it's terrible. It is terrible because you can't be trying to fight, get out of a mess, and you are getting to something that is worse than that. It's shameful, Dr. Chris. And for him to go and sit in that in with that audio and be telling people that they don't contribute when he himself doesn't even contribute. You insult the people that have been paying you. That hurts. and it's terrible. I can hear you.
Yeah, it's unfortunate the kind of leader that we had leading this revolution for 4 good years. 4 good years. If people haven't discovered who exactly he was all through, again, that footage from that church in Brazil, the footage from that church in Brazil should be an eye opener to every Amazonian. And as you said, he was out there trying to castigate people in the government that doesn't exist for not paying money. Ladies and gentlemen, we will say this to you again and again and again. Sako does not deserve a dime from any
Comrade.
Amazonian for any cause, for any
Yeah,
reason, because he is no
yeah, I think
longer,
it
he's
is
no longer the
unjust.
leader of Amazonia. He
Yeah,
squandered the opportunity he had. He did not only squander the opportunity, he squandered all of the money. I heard his own people questioning him about Lava 1, Lava 2, and Lava 3. And then he is also out there lamenting that, oh, some $70,000 was hacked or taken from. No account has been hacked, sir. The accounts belong to the legitimate government of Amazonia, the government led by Iya Marianta. No bank account, no website has been hacked. It is the people's money, and your hands can no longer stretch there because you are illegitimate. So, but let me get to Comrade Sebastian. Again, let's get to this issue of him asking people, castigating people for money. He has never contributed a dime. He has taken a lot of money, eaten a lot of money from Ambazonians. Ambazonians contribute money, give him money, put money in his pocket for the fighters on ground zero, and I'm talking like somebody who knows it. I can count at least, Comrade Sebastian, you know of 3,000, you know of 4,000, you know of 2,000. I mean, we can count and count. You know of 10,000, and I mean cash that is put in the hands of a leader to defend Amazonia. A dime does not get to the treasury. So, Sebastian, go on, please.
yes. Secretary Chris, I think if it is time to do exposures, you need to bring most of our comrades here. I witnessed a mini fundraiser that was organized by one of us, Christmas Ebini, and money was raised, given into his hands directly. I don't know where that money went to. I mean, Comrade Jackson, Chairman Jackson brought up a point here, which is something that I cried from my first day I came here. Sako has divided this IG to the extent he has divided it from family level, LGA level, county level, and he has even gone as far as divided at a national level. I mean, what type of leader will come to a revolution and divide everybody? I will tell you here that we, as we sit, we are even afraid of each other because, I mean, because of the revolution, because of a bad leader. You come into the revolution, instead of you bringing people together, you put people apart. We are so separated. We are so separated in a way that you don't even feel free to go to your friend's house or to your brother's house. People that we used to live together, they look at you now as an enemy because of what? Because of a bad leader. Sako has never contributed any dime into this struggle. If he has, let him bring the receipts. Some of us we've been contributing. Even if we don't put it into CID, we've been contributing every day. We have receipts, we have proof. We give money to him, we send money to ground zero, we send money to ground one, we send money to refugees. We have the receipts, we have the proofs. And you come out there and say people have not, just people coming to talk. So I mean, it's really it's so bad. It's so bad for a leader to come out and accuse some Ambazonians that are putting in a lot that they are not contributing. It is not every Ambazonian that will contribute that want his or her name to be in the records. A lot of Ambazonians contribute in their own way.
Right. Let me give Dr. Atienjo was supposed to be joining the panel, but apparently, I guess he couldn't make it. Let me get to Barrister Martin if he has anything to add before I open the phone lines for Ground Zero to weigh in. Barrister Martin, if you had something to add, sir.
Secretary Chris, the only thing I can add is it's unfortunate that our people, civilians, are being killed, but I think we've delayed the fighting for some time. We should get back on it. The best defense is offense. If those military were being attacked on a daily basis, they might not even have the time going from one quarter to the other, killing civilians. So the best defense on the ground is to put those guys on their toes. They are scared to go out. They will spend their time in the barracks instead of going out and killing our people. So it's high time now we go. And then as Marianta is on the ground, she should try and activate those counties which are dead. I'm talking in terms of like Boyo. Boyo used to be strong, disappeared. Momsi disappeared. Boyo is like now. I don't think even a fly is being swatted there. Nobody is, no fighting. You go to some other counties, we have to, even Momo has to be reactivated. We really have to get back our story together, please. I think that's it.
Thank you. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, I will open the phone lines. I will open the phone lines and get to Ground Zero. Take your contributions out there. Let us know what you are thinking. If you have the phone number, remember before you call, shut down the volume of your set. Shut down the volume of your set before you go ahead and call, please. The number is there on your screen. So go ahead. The phone lines are open. Let's get your take on all of this. Again, unfortunately, Dr. Atienjo was supposed to be here to bring us some updates on cholera outbreak out there, but I guess he couldn't make it. But let's hope that next time he'll be able to join us. But again, go ahead. The phone lines are open for your calls. Let's hear what you think, please. Okay. Again, the phone lines are open. Ladies and gentlemen, go ahead and call in. Let us hear from you and know what you think. Know what you think about this discussion, the killings in BAMENDA, and so on. Okay, let's get to the first caller here, calling from Ground Zero. Hello. Hello.
Yeah. Secretary, please, good evening.
Good evening, sir. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Mezam.
Okay, your connection is not very good, but go ahead, sir, quickly.
Yeah, I want to thank you for the great work you're doing for the people of Amazonia. Yeah, I want to also salute your panels who are there doing marvelous work also.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to think that Sako has been a forgotten story. But what we are pleading from Ground Zero that you should do is to take away APC from him.
Okay.
Because every day they are disturbing the minds of the people.
All right. All right. Thank you.
Secondly,
yes.
Secondly, I want to plead that in order to stop this killing, resources in thinking that we will get money only from the people to be able to prosecute the war. So if there is a possibility for you people to, do some kind of behind discussion and see that things work better for the good of the struggle, I think that good for us. The days ahead is very deadly. The military trooping in, they are building military camps all over BAMENDA. Yes. So
All right. All right, we hear you. Thank you. We are doing everything. We are doing everything in that direction. Thanks for the call. All right, let's get to the next caller here. Hello.
Yeah, hello. Good day, Secretary Chris.
Good day, sir. May I know where you're calling in from, please?
Yeah, I'm calling from Poland, Secretary Chris.
Poland. Okay, yes, I remember that. Okay, what is in your mind, sir?
Yes, sir. I want to thank you and your panelists, and I wish to say you should continue with the job you're doing on ABS. I want to remind Ambazonians that Sako is a very big thief. When I watched that video from Oversea, I cried because I personally know Commando, and I want to tell Ambazonians, if they like, let them verify this information. Sako is saying he had churches that he has to distribute, but his main architect, who is Commando, has a little small tiny church behind St. Agnes, BAMENDA. People should go to Cameroon behind St. Agnes. That is where Commando owns a very small tiny church there, very small tiny Tata church there, behind St. Agnes, Sona Street, behind St. Agnes. That is where Commando is his chief architect, who claims to be a pastor, doesn't even own a mega church, owned by a small tiny house, whom he calls a church. And Sako, who is a con artist, who has stolen people's money in Limbe, Victoria, money from the church, has deceived a lot of people, says he had churches here and there, and God asked him, I don't know how blind Ambazonians are. This man he could not even pay his own rent. He could not even pay his own rent. And he is saying that God asked him to give out the churches, his ministry,
and the Bible school, and the church.
Commando himself doesn't even own a Bible school. I'm telling Secretary Chris, you might have known Commando, but you don't know what Commando owns. I know Commando personally. Just ask people to go behind St. Agnes. Behind St. Agnes, as you descend the hill, Commando has a small tiny church by a riverside there, a small tiny church, St. Agnes, Sona Street. That is what Commando owns his house at Mulan Street 5. So I know him very well. You know, this guy who plays with the La Republic team, he's a neighbor to Commando at Mulan Street 5. So I know him very well. It's not I'm not speaking out of the blues.
All right. Thank you for the call, sir. Thank you.
Ambazonians should be conscious because these are con people, big liars, thieves.
Thank you. They are getting it today. All right. Thank you. All right. Let's see who next is calling here. Hello. Hello.
Hello. Good afternoon, Secretary Chris.
Good afternoon, sir. Please turn down the volume of your set and focus on the phone.
Okay, thank you, sir. I want to say hello to all Ambazonians that are listening to this show, and I want to thank Ambazonians for standing up for their rights, because freedom is the highest gift we can receive from God and from man. We are fighting for our freedom. We are not working for nobody. I want to contribute by saying that one thing Ambazonians should ask Dr. Sako is to come out and refute the video the owner of the house in which he was living in Limbe came and put out there.
Right.
Now, we should also know, Ambazonians should know, and I will first of all get to the restoration fighters in Ground Zero. They should know
that why they are suffering down there, why they are dying down there, Sako is here in America, of all places, with all the jobs that we have. He is taking out close to $7,000. This is close to 4 million francs CFA colonial money every month from the monies we contribute for the struggle, and using it for himself. They should know that. So if there is any restoration force who is lining up behind Sako, they should know that that is exactly what he is doing. Now, we have heard people talking about Ambazonians trying to destroy Sako for hatred or for something else. Now that Sako is recognizing the CDC deal, let Sako come out and tell Ambazonians that he took this deal either to the Restoration Council or he took it to his own cabinet.
Right.
Talk less of the county chairs.
That's a very pertinent point you're raising there. Now that he acknowledges it, he should go to the cabinet and say, yes, or who did he consult? His cabinet, his Restoration Council, the Judiciary Council, his Vice President. Who did he consult? Who did you consult, sir, Mr. Sako?
Exactly, because we cannot be, calling out Ayabacho because he went individually to London to go negotiate an oil deal on behalf of over 8 million Ambazonians, and be covering up for somebody like Sako who is doing worse than what Ayabacho did. This is unacceptable, and we are building our nation. We are not working for nobody. We cannot be a people. We employ somebody irrespective of the level, and we are saying that that person has to be the one to lord over the people of Ambazonia. Now, I want Ambazonians to also know this. Dr. Sako has sent in Comrade Frank Kenyi, a patriot that I respect, into the ANSC. And the ANSC today is divided. There are over 13 members of the ANSC that Comrade Frank Kenyi has kicked out of the ANSC. He came into the ANSC. If you have time, Secretary Chris, I will make available those Comrade Frank Kenyi put in the ANSC there, warning and trying to intimidate people, commanders of the ANSC, to either line up with Sako or get kicked out of the forum. And today the ANSC is divided into two. They have kicked us out. Over 13 commanders have been kicked out of the ANSC. That he
13 out of how many?
Of course, the ANSC, the house, by the time he kicked us out, we were 27 in there. Were 27 commanders, but there are some commanders that were not active there. So all the main commanders of the ANSC, over 4 of them have been kicked out. Then the CDOs that Dr. Sako appointed alongside Comrade Frank Kenyi, who they were hiding somewhere, we pleaded that those CDOs he appointed should be sent into the ANSC, for there is no need for us to be fighting for freedom, and we are setting up this division amongst ourselves, because we said that for him to be keeping the CDOs in another forum and keeping the ANSC members in another forum, that makes it becomes conflictual, because those ones will be looking at the ANSC members as though they are working against them, and the ANSC members will be looking at the CDOs.
Let's do this. I would like to do a show with all of those 13. If I can, if you can send me that information, let's talk about it. It is very important. We don't have the time now to go into that, because I think we really need to talk a lot about those commanders and what is going on ground zero. Please, let's do that. Thank you for the call. Let's get to other callers.
Thank you, Secretary Chris. Thank you.
All right.
Secretary Chris.
All right.
Secretary Chris.
Okay, the phone lines are open, ladies and gentlemen. I know lots of you have been trying to contribute to no avail. Unfortunately, that's what happened with live calls. Let's get to ground zero. Hello. Hello.
Secretary Chris.
Hello.
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 Hello. Good evening, sir. Where are you calling from?
Hello.
Yes, I can hear you.
ABS.
You're on ABS Live, so turn down the volume of your set.
Yes, I've already turned it down.
There, a lot of echo in your background. Sorry, sir, a lot of echo in your background. You have to do something about that before I can take your call. Hello. 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 Hello.
Hello, Secretary Chris.
Hello, sir. Good evening. Where are you calling from? Hello.
I'm calling from ground.
Hello.
You hear me?
You are breaking.
Yeah.
You are breaking.
You hear me?
I can hear you now. Go on.
I'm calling from ground zero, Secretary Chris.
Okay, go on.
Thank you. It's a shame. We were very ashamed this evening, Big Brother, to have come to this level where we are hearing revelations, hidden revelations that are unbelievable. Moreover, sometime last week we tuned you. You were not on, and Congress Nacho was not on. And we stumbled on ABC, Secretary Chris.
Okay.
Fortunately, just give me some. Fortunately, Ma Irene was there. Irene Gwa, I mean, the anchor man and one lady. We heard things like, you men on ABS are women that has skirt without rope.
Take that again. Take that again, please. Let me.
You men, like good evening to my dear panelists, my senior ones there with you. That you men on ABS like women with skirts without ropes that you can even tie the skirt with.
Okay.
Secondly, that Dr. Ann of the Restoration Council is a green snake in the green grass. And that you people have gone and get a little girl, a very small girl in skirt with flowers all over her. Like somebody going for a wedding feast, and like that is your president. When I listen to them, me personally, when I listen to them, I was shocked because those are mamas I thought in the revolution that can produce results. Now, this shocking revelation this evening, I don't know how they are feeling now as we speak. Who are they standing behind in the name of their president called Dr. Sako? You stand on the pulpit of the Lord God Almighty before the children of God, and you lie like that, and you call yourself a man of God, not Secretary. I'm highly disappointed, honestly.
Well, if I had said it without presenting the footage, maybe many people may not have believed it, but you saw it, you listened to it. It is not doctor like they are fond of doing. That is why we are telling every one of you out there, Ambazonians, do not let a dime get into the pocket of Sako. For a man who lacks the respect to come to Ambazonian to say, I am sorry for what happened with AFCON. I took your money. We tried our best. We did our best, but nothing happened. But we tried. Not a single statement. Ambazonians do not know what happened to AFCON money. If there was no money, it makes sense. But money was... Yes, go on.
Cameroon is what happened. This is we plan to do this, and this is what happened, and this is where we failed. We pray that next time this is how we should continue. We learn from our mistake, but he's unable to give us an account. Secretary, if we can tell you what we are going through on ground zero here, I mean, just like yesterday in Abakwa here, like, and then somebody will go and be lying on the pulpit. No, Daddy. I want you people to take. You hear me?
I can hear you.
Good. I want you people to take the challenge. I call President Marianta, like they say that she's a small lady in skirt, a small girl with flowers all over her. I want her to take the challenge.
All right. Don't be worried. She will take the challenge, and that small girl in skirt go show them pepper. Yes, small not be sick. Yes. All right. Yes. All right. Thank you. Okay. Let's see who is next here on the line. Ground zero. Oh, I lost that caller. From Mezam, please, for us to stop this killing, for me, let us take the war to their land, kill their own people, and burn their own homes on a daily basis. Okay, that is somebody from Abakwa with that message. Let's get to the next caller here. Oh, I guess I lost. Yes, Comrade Jackson, you want to add something? Come in, please.
Yes. I was going to say something about that episode in the church. It was so frightening when he mentioned that he had churches in so many cities. You know, I wonder if those cities are in Limbe or their cities in Cameroon or La Republic. But there's one thing that one of your callers said that I want to really talk about: the ANSC. We had said that the ANSC said they were waiting for the pronunciation from the Restoration Council to take a position, which is the assembly of the people. And now, when the Restoration Council came and made a pronouncement, we expected the RC to follow suit, but they keep dragging their legs. My question I ask some of the members is, when Frank was brought into your house, was he vetted and confirmed? Somebody just made an appointment, the next minute you put in the defense house. How possible is that? Are we serious? So that is the whimsical nature of the NSC, and that is what has brought us to where we are. Because they lack this to make informed decisions. There is no way you're going to. By the way, if they brought him into that house doesn't belong to DSS. That is the house that was put in place when we were in Berlin. There is no reason why a defense secretary should come in and then has the right to be doing the things that I hear they are doing there. So now, my question is, what is wrong with the NSC? Why are they crying? Or they thought Frank was going to come there and sing hallelujah to them? It's ridiculous, Chris. Why people sit out here and they are hitting their heads trying to make things right. Then you have NSC that have been crying that they have been neglected. They call for the fundraising. Ambassador came and raised funds for them. But now they can't even keep their house in order and do things the way they're supposed. So tomorrow they're going to call us to come and raise funds for them. Who asked them to bring Frank into that house in the first place? It's ridiculous.
Well, this is my problem with the ANSC, and my problem with the ANSC didn't start with the impeachment and removal of Sako. My problem with the ANSC has been the fact that these guys, they don't deliver. They don't deliver. Chairman, you know the ANSC supposed to be made up of all the county chiefs, all the county security chiefs, and I guess LGAs too, I believe. Now, things are going on the ground. In the absence of leadership, the ANC that wants to insert itself as a military wing of this struggle, shouldn't they right now, at this moment, as we speak, be taking care of ground zero? They raised funds about 2 weeks ago. They cannot say they don't have money. Even $10,000 will not be too small. They said they were going to fight to make sure AFCON doesn't take place. They were giving money, not a lot of money, though also very belated, just about 5,000. What have they come to explain, to tell Ambazonians? What effort did they make? This idea of trying to put together some neutral, independent, as they want to call themselves, group to fight on the ground, it just doesn't work with me. If we have county security chairs who are taking care of the fighters at the community or LGA and county level, let it be, so that when there is failure in Mezam, we go to Mezam County and ask the security chair, what is the problem? When it fails in Bui, we can go to Bui County and say to the security chair, what is going on? Besides, we should not forget, all the draft money go into the hands of these security chiefs. They are the ones dictating to their counties what goes where, who takes what, and who takes it when. They are the ones doing it. They now come together and they call themselves ANC, and they want more money. They are not yet ready to tell anyone what is happening with the draft money, what is happening to AFCON, what is happening to the fund they raised only a few weeks ago. It should be dissolved. And I hope that Iya Marienta will not go to patronize something called ANC. We need to rebuild our structures, the LGAs, the counties, make sure they are functioning, and then build up new security teams from there. I don't know if I'm wrong.
No, Secretary Chris, to their defense, there's an audio out there from the chairman of the ANC who acknowledge the fact that they raised some money and they are working on some stuff. And secondly, over the years, their complaint has been that they were neglected by the Sako government, especially during the time.
How could they, hold on there, comrade, I get it. How could they have been neglected by the Sako government when the draft money was supposed to be managed by them? I know at least from my own county, it is a security team that goes to the administrators and say, hey, we need to buy sticks here, we need to buy peanuts there, and the county chief released the money to the security team.
But let me explain something to you. The way money is managed in Ambazona is highly federated, so much so that what happens in Mezam County has nothing to do with what happens in Libya land. But the NSC has wanted a situation where they could have funds in their account and to manage the war.
Hold the line.
Which is something that has not happened. But the point is, at the point where we are, people are believing in them. They now get into politics and start behaving like every other person. That's where the problem is, Chris.
Right. Let's get from briefly from Comrade Frank, who just called back. Hello.
Hello, Secretary Chris.
Yes, briefly.
Yeah, this is Comrade Frank of Mentum. I want to just bring some clarification as to the complaint Comrade Jackson is putting out there about the ANC. I want to let Ambazonians know that the ANC is one of the houses within our struggle that I have seen that is very objective, and they are doing things in the way they should do them. The way Comrade Frank Cheney came into the ANC, it was not like the ANC accepted, and when the ANC said that they were doing that, waiting on the Restoration Council to come out with a decision, they were right. And when he came in, they said, okay, they should let him in to come, and the Restoration Council should
with what they're coming out with. So when he came in there, there was a meeting they held, and they said, he said, they should give him admin rights. The ANC knew exactly, because from previous audios and the way he was talking there, they knew what was going on. But they decided to keep him there as a patriot, as an Ambazonian. So what he did...
hold on, comrade. Hold on. It doesn't make sense. How could they be keeping him there as a patriot, as an Ambazonian, when this is a forum for military leaders? He wasn't known. He wasn't any. And the fact and the argument that he is coming from.
Yes.
The
ANC had decided when that issue came up, and there was that confusion, and President Marianta was it was formerly Dr. Tita who was put as president there. They were waiting for Dr. Tita's candidate to be sent to the to be appointed, and they will bring him into the ANC. And subsequently, it was Iya Marianta. They say that
comrade, there is no justification for that. By the time you are mentioning here, Sako had been impeached and removed. You are talking of yesterday. I mean, Tita turned down this thing only yesterday.
Sako had been impeached at that time, but the Restoration Council herself came out and said Sako had not been removed. That was the time Frank came.
I mean, when you make reference to Tita, by the time Tita was appointed, Sako had been removed.
I am saying that when he came in, Sako had not been removed. But then when Sako was eventually removed and Dr. Tita was put there, they were saying that the candidate Dr. Tita will appoint will come in.
Okay.
And then he eventually became President Marianta, and the ANC said they are waiting for the candidate to come and they will bring them in. And they will objectively follow the the institutions and the constitution and for the people of Amazonia just as they have been.
But apparently that is not happening, isn't it?
He started saying that the ANC was created by Dr. Sako, and so the ANC has to be under a leadership. And I tell you that over 15 of the ANC members were clear when they told him straight that the ANC is fighting first for the people of Amazonia, and it is protecting by the constitution of Amazonia, not any leader in the future, or the present leaders.
All right, thank you. Let's leave it there. Let's leave it there for time reasons. Let's leave it there for time.
Let me just come up with this one, because the people
quickly.
How it happened.
Quickly, please, 50 seconds. We don't have time here.
Thank you. 50 seconds will be enough.
Okay.
Comrade Frank, when I brought the CGOs, they were hiding somewhere in a particular meeting, and when he came in that meeting, he said the ANC should vote whether or not, if people don't recognize Dr. Sako, they should be kicked out of the meeting. And the ANC said they were not going to vote on that. But because the person who created the ANC, or who was mandated to create the ANC forum, was the secretary of the ANC, and he is a Sako surrogate, he went ahead and gave Frank Kenny administrative right. They have stripped even the chairman of the ANC of his rights. They have stripped the coordinator of the ANC of his admin rights.
All right, all right, comrade. Again, we will do a whole show. We will do a whole show to discuss this ANC thing, because I really don't buy what the ANC has been doing out there. Now we have a new precedent. Why is the ANC not identifying the new president if they are following the constitution and the institutions?
To know that the ANC recognizes President Iya Marianta and held a meeting with President Iya Marianta as the president. The invitation, the Zoom link carried the message.
All right.
President Iya Marianta, president of the Federal Republic of Amazonia, will be having a meeting, and that is what even sparked the anger in Comrade Frank Kenny, who then started kicking people out, and with the Secretary General of the ANSC. They kick people out after that meeting.
All right, thank you. We'll talk about that later. Comrade Jackson, go on, please.
Yes. See. The whole thing is everything that Chairman from whom I trust and I respect so much is only consequential. It is only consequential to the admission of Frank, who was not even vetted. Frank was not yet a cabinet member or at the position of DSS when he was brought into that house. I mean, you guys, they are security people. You have to be diligent and very, very conscious of the actions you take. You cannot just bring somebody that was appointed and you bring straight into your house. You don't even know if he has been vetted. You don't know whether the background has been done. You even consult the chairman of the Restoration Council, and then you bring him into your house and then look at the chaos. Any excuse you give Ambazonian now is not good enough because you brought somebody that was not supposed to be where he is. Simple, straight. They should acknowledge that fact and then we fix things and move on. Any excuse here is wrong. You are muted. You are muted. Secretary Chris, you are muted.
Was saying that there is really no excuse here for as far as the ANSC is concerned. I really hope that Lady Marianta would have to sit down with them and not just figure out a new relationship, but figure out the effectiveness of that organization called the ANSC, because if these guys are not doing the job in their counties, what is the need for this other organization? Just to look for money, raise money, and then what? What? All right, let's get to ground zero again with the calls and see. Hello.
Hello, Secretary Chris.
Hello, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Where are you calling from, please?
I'm calling in the economic capital of the Republic.
Okay, thanks for the call. And what is the contribution?
Yes, I've been listening from you people there. And there is a lot of confusion. I said I'm a man of God. I don't care what is happening on the stage there. What they are calling the Sako as a man of God, what they are reporting, that is not the issue. The issue is you people are accepting some things that are not supposed to be accepted. There is a lot of groups that are not doing anything, carrying the name.
Yeah.
They have to dissolve these things. I heard you one time when you were interviewing one white man, I couldn't remember the name. The man said that there is a lot of division. People, there should be one solid organization that everybody is reporting on. And anybody that is
no,
not
let me tell you, let me just stop you there a little bit. Hold on there. Listen, I don't think at any point in time in the course of this struggle you will find one organization. It has never happened anywhere. It will not happen here in Ambazonia. But what I can assure everyone out there is as many groups, we will bring as many groups as possible to work together. That is all that matters. You have to realize that you have groups with big names, no followers. For example, somebody says he has fighters on the ground, but he cannot even raise $10,000 in a year. And when you ask him, who is your secretary? Who is your treasurer? Who is your financial secretary? And they don't have none. That money goes into their pockets and they decide how to spend it. What are you going to do?
That is the reason why they are taking enough money. That is the reason why they take money that people contribute and people are dying here. When you come here in the ground, people are dying and people some sit and tell lies and some sit and eat money that is contributed. There is nothing is as hot as what they are doing to the people at Ground Zero. Lives are lost. A lot of people are dying. People
cannot go. The people are discouraged.
Yeah.
A lot of
But
bikers
that's why I'm saying that when we talk about bringing everybody together, you bring people that matter together. Thank you for the call. Okay, let me take maybe one or two more callers, and we'll call it a night. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, sir. Where are you calling from, please?
Yes, this is Comrade Mark from Philadelphia.
Philadelphia. Okay, sir. What is in your mind?
Yes, I just got what Comrade Cheney said about the ASC.
Yes.
And he was not straightforward.
Are you a member of the ANSC?
No, I'm not a member, but from what he was saying that, they couldn't, that he was giving conflicting information, that somebody was sent in there as a leader, and the person changed the contacts. The person had the right to change the contacts, even after.
No, that is not what he said. That wasn't Frank Chinye. It was Frank of Menchum who called in. But that isn't what he said. He said Frank Chinye, who is one of the Bitcoin cabinet, Sako's cabinet, came into the forum and asked for admin rights, and he was given. That's what he said.
Yes, but he said that he was given the admin right even after they knew that he was coming in with certain group of people.
Okay.
So how did they give him the admin right when they knew that he was coming in with a certain group of people and they knew that he was suspicious? How did they give him that right? So they are not straightforward. They should tell us what is going on.
Well, again, that's a whole problem. You are correct. You are very correct. I get the point you are trying to make. Yeah, if they didn't want him having any authority among them, how come they will give him admin right to the extent he can now bring in a whole lot of people to add in the forum, right?
Yes, then secondly, he said that he used the admin right to take away 4 feet of the members. How can somebody to an established group and take away 4 feet of the members and be left with 1 feet? So if that person takes away 4 feet of the members, why do 4 feet of the members not go and establish their own group since they have the majority? So can one person overtake 4 other people? I don't understand. Let them come out straight. I don't like all of this game that they are playing. They know what is going on. They should call a spade a spade. They should stop pretending with us. If they are for the other side and they are trying to protect themselves, let them go on and play and keep playing with us. We're not there for those games. We know what is going on.
Thank you. You have a great day, sir.
You're welcome.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. I think we will call it. A day here, and wish you all the best. Wish you all the best for the weekend. I hope to be back here on Monday with another edition of the Anchor Man. For those of you in Abakwa, I'd like you to know that we're praying for you, and we're praying that these killings will be minimized, and we keep on with the courage to defend and believe in homeland, our own country, until nothing is going to derail us. Nothing is going to stop us. Absolutely not. Let me see this. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
I can hear you,
Yes.
ma'am. Where are you calling from?
Yes, Secretary Chris. This is Mapolin. I want to talk. Yes, can you hear me, Secretary Chris?
I can hear you 5 on 5, man. Go ahead. I was about rounding up.
Yes. I want to say something about the ANSC.
Okay.
You know, the founder of that ANSC, the founder of that forum, comes from Kupemu Anunguba.
Okay.
And these are the people that have a history of kidnapping. They are there just to keep themselves. Not that they have forces on the ground. They have this history of not letting boys to fight. The founder is from Bangem, and the assistant too is from Bangem. I left the ANSC because of what is going on there. They keep people there that are not doing anything. Those that do not even have forces on the ground, they just have their group.
Right.
And you call commanders, then they join them together with the new commanders, and then they just pollute the whole place. I'm so happy that the admin right has been taken away from the chairman, Ebenezer, because he is the one supporting all those things. Okay. When I used to be there, I speak with them, and all these things that Fombad and the rest are doing, he is in support of it.
Mm-hmm. Well, you see, I thank you for the call, because I've always seen the ANSC as a duplication of what the counties, the security chiefs in the counties are supposed to be doing. I have not seen a single project that the ANSC has carried out there, not Chan, not AFCON, not 11 February, nothing. Nothing. I learned that they bought one big stake. I don't know where that stake is, because Sako is there. Nothing is happening in Sako, and that big stake supposed to be in Sako. So listen, do you guys at the ANSC, I would really love to have you here to come and maybe share with Ambazonians what you do or what you collect money for. Thank you.
I am not there.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for the call. You have a great day.
Oh, thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is it. That is it for tonight. Wishing you all the best weekend out there. Again, if you are in Ambazonia, please stay safe. Stay safe. Stay safe out there. And may God bless you all tonight. All right.
papa mikuma nanga na pesi na yo Zambe na bomo Yahweh Zambe na bomo Solo tu copenga mal